Keto pizza in 10 minutes is what we've got on tap today. I did a keto pizza recipe about a year ago. I did a fathead pizza recipe. You guys love that recipe, but the pizza I'm about to show you today, I think is the best keto pizza recipe. And I think that for a couple of reasons. Because number one, the crust on this keto pizza is just so much like a normal pizza crust. And then number two, it's just way easier than making a fathead pizza. Like I said, this is a 10-minute pizza recipe, at least less than 10 minutes bake time. Total time, you're looking at probably 15 minutes. So it's just the easiest pizza ever to make. With that being said, let's get in this one and make some delicious, quick keto pizza. All right, so the first thing we'll want to do is preheat the oven to 425 degrees. Next, we'll want to prep some of these keto pizza ingredients in advance. So in a small dish, we're going to add somewhere between 3/4 of a cup to a cup of mozzarella cheese. And that works out to be 84 to 112 grams, depending on how much cheese you like on your keto pizza. Next, we're going to prep the pizza sauce. And as you're seeing here, the sauce I went with is Hunt's. And this stuff is great for keto pizza because not only does it have just 2 net carbs per serving, but it has no sugar added to it as well. Anyways, for today's keto pizza recipe, I think the perfect amount of pizza sauce is about a half a cup or 125 grams. So that's the amount that I'm going to add to my food scale. And the last thing we're going to prep out is going to be some coconut oil. And today we're using a tablespoon or 14 grams of that for our keto pizza. All right, so now that all that prep work is done, we're just going to start weighing out all the dry ingredients for our keto pizza. The first dry ingredient we're adding is going to be almond flour. I like this one by Kirkland's. It's cheap and it only has 2 net carbs per serving. So we're going to add a cup and a half, which is 168 grams of that stuff to our bowl. And the next ingredient we're going to add is going to be some unflavored whey protein. And the reason we're adding this is because it's a great way to lower not only the carb count in the keto pizza, but also the calories in the keto pizza as well, because we won't have to add as much almond flour. By the way, guys, I know that protein powder isn't everybody's thing. So if you don't want to use the protein powder, check the video description below for instructions on how you can replace it. With that being said, I'm adding 2/3 of a scoop or 20 grams of the unflavored whey protein powder for my pizza crust today. So once we've added that, we're gonna add some coconut flour, and do not replace this with more almond flour. Also, do not use more of this than I'm using in today's recipe. Basically, just use the amount of coconut flour that I'm using for my keto pizza crust today, and that is 2 tablespoons or 15 grams of it. So once you've added that, the next thing you want to add is a half a teaspoon of xanthan gum, a half a teaspoon of baking powder, a pinch of salt, a pinch of garlic powder, and a pinch of onion powder. At this point, we've got all the dry ingredients added for our keto pizza crust. So we'll just whiskify all of them together until they're combined, and then we'll start adding the wet ingredients. So first off, we're going to quickly melt the coconut oil that we prepped out from earlier. And then we're going to add that to the bowl. And then we're also going to add some eggs. More specifically, we're adding 2 large eggs for today's keto pizza. Now at this point, you'll want to take out a spatula and combine the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients, and you'll want to do this until a crumbly ball of dough forms. Once it does, that's when you want to roll up your sleeves and start working the ball of dough with your hands until it becomes smooth and the yolks from the eggs fully incorporate with the other ingredients. When the yolks fully dissolve into the other ingredients, that's when you want to get out some parchment paper, add the ball of keto pizza dough to it, and then you want to cover the keto pizza dough with another sheet of parchment paper. And the reason we're doing this is because, as you're seeing here, it makes it much easier to roll out the dough. Also, the keto pizza dough won't stick to your rolling pin when you're rolling out the dough this way either. So once you roll out the keto pizza dough to roughly about a 14 by 14 inch diameter, that's when you want to remove the top layer of parchment paper and start rolling up the edges of the keto pizza dough to form a crust. And just so you guys know what you're aiming for, when you roll up the crust, you want your pizza to be about 12 inches in diameter. Anyways, when you got your pizza crust looking good, that's when you want to transfer it to a pizza tray and bake it in the oven for 3 to 4 minutes if you're using the protein powder version, or about 5 minutes if you're just using straight almond flour. However, keep an eye on it because this keto pizza crust bakes quick, and it's done just when the edges of the crust start to turn golden brown. Anyways, when the crust comes out of the oven, that's when we're going to add the sauce that we prepped from earlier, along with the cheese and any toppings that you want to add as well. Today, I went with regular pepperoni for my keto pizza, but whatever toppings you want to use for your keto pizza, is totally up to you. So now at this point, when you've got all your toppings added, you want to switch over your oven to a broil, and then you want to broil the keto pizza for about 3.5 minutes or until the cheese just totally melts. Once that happens, the pizza is done. You want to remove it from the oven, cut it into 8 slices, and then check this out. This is how it ends up looking. It is seriously the best keto pizza recipe. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you want more information about today's recipe, check the video description below, and I'll see you in the next one.